Have you ever walked into a room, I don't know, maybe a really high-stakes board meeting, or even just a tense family dinner, and you can just feel it?
Oh, absolutely.
That the vibes are just toxic, the air feels thick, and your first instinct is to just put up a shield.
Mm-hmm. It's that classic fight or flight response, you know? Your body tenses up, you feel besieged, and you either want to attack or just build a wall.
Right. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a text that deals with exactly that situation.
Mm.
But here's the curveball. It is not some modern conflict resolution guide.
Not at all.
It's an ancient text called the Karaniya Metta Sutta.
Which, on the surface, most people just encounter as a chant.
Exactly. If you've ever been to a Buddhist center or even some yoga classes, you've probably heard it. People treat it like a magic spell for good luck or protection.
Yeah, for good vibe.
But when you actually dig into the commentary and the translation, which is what we're doing today, it turns out it's not magic. It's a highly structured, almost psychological algorithm, a roadmap for the mind.
That's a perfect way to put it. Because we often think of metta, loving kindness, as this very soft, fluffy greeting card idea.
Just think positive thought.
Exactly. But this sutta shows there's nothing fluffy about it. It is a rigorous, systematic training program for your consciousness. It's designed to take a mind that's conflicted and scared and, well, engineer it into what are called the Brahma Viharas, the sublime states of living.
And that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to unpack how this thing actually works, not as a prayer, but as a practical tool, how it gets you from that defensive crouch to a state of boundless goodwill.
And we should probably say right up front, this isn't easy. The source material is very clear that this is a discipline. It's a balance of broad acceptance with a really deep emotional quality.
Okay, let's get into it. And the best place to start has to be the origin story. Because honestly, the background to this sutta reads like the first act of a horror movie.
It really does. It all starts with a crisis.
So set the scene for us. Where are we?
We're in the Himavanta forest. You have a group of monks, and they've gone there specifically to meditate, to get away from it all. Find some peace and quiet, reach those deep states of concentration.
But that is not what they find.
The exact opposite. The sources say they were harassed by Rukkadevata.
Tree spirits, right.
Yeah.
Non-human entities.
Yes. And these spirits weren't just, making spooky noises. This was psychological warfare. The text described terrifying visions, horrible smells, shrieking sounds. It was so bad the monks couldn't concentrate at all. Their meditation was completely shattered.
I mean, just imagine trying to do any kind of deep work while someone is screaming at you. It's impossible. So what do? They retreat.
They do. They leave the forest and go straight back to the Buddha.
And if I were them, I'd be expecting a weapon. Or maybe some kind of, I don't know, a really powerful exorcism chant. Something to fight back with.
That's the logical move, right? They had an external problem and they wanted an external solution. Get rid of the spirits.
But that's the big twist here, isn't it?
Right.
That's not what the Buddha gave them.
Not even close.
He sent them back.
He sent them right back into the same haunted forest.
Wow. That feels almost cruel. Go back to the place where you're being psychologically tormented.
It does, until you realize what he sent them back with. He didn't give them a weapon. He gave them a mental strategy. He gave them the sutta.
So the goal wasn't to fight the spirits.
The goal was to change the energy of the entire interaction, to transform that animosity into friendship, into peace, using nothing but an internal shift inside their own minds.
That is just a radical idea. Don't fight the ghosts. Change your own mind so profoundly that they become your friends. Okay, so let's look at how this tool actually works. It's broken into phases, right?
Correct. It's very logical. It starts with what we can call phase 1, the prerequisites.
And the source material points out that the sutta literally starts with the word karaniya.
Yes, which means what ought to be done.
A to-do list. It doesn't start with the loving kindness part. It starts with the prep work.
Precisely. And this is where most of us, we go wrong. You can't just flip a switch and expect a high-voltage result if the wiring in the wall is faulty. The sutta lists 11 specific qualities you need to cultivate before you even try to radiate metta.
So things like being honest, gentle, not arrogant, those make sense. But there's one that really stood out to me from the notes, Santuthi.
Yes. Contentment. Satisfaction with what you already have.
Okay, so why does that matter? If I'm trying to deal with a hostile boss, why does it matter if I'm content with my apartment? The two feel completely unrelated.
But they are central to it. This is the hidden mechanism. I mean, think about it. Why do we get into conflict? It's usually because we want something or we're agitated or our senses are craving more. If you're arrogant or demanding or discontent, your internal world is. It's turbulent. You're constantly generating heat and friction.
So you're saying if I'm already a mess inside, I can't possibly produce genuine goodwill for the outside.
Exactly. These 11 qualities, honesty, contentment, not being too busy, they basically calm down your internal engine. All that virtue and discipline, it reduces your inner conflict. And when that friction goes down, you naturally start to generate something called pitisukha.
Joy and happiness.
Yes, it rises naturally from a peaceful mind.
Ah, I see. It's a supply chain issue. You can't export a product you don't have in your own warehouse.
That is the perfect analogy. You have to generate this internal capital of peace first. Only then do you have the fuel to start projecting it outwards.
Okay, so phase 1 is building the factory. Now, phase 2, the projection strategy. The monks have their internal fuel, now they have to actually radiate it. And the source material uses this great analogy of an art class.
Yeah, the drawing a village analogy. It makes it so concrete. So imagine the Buddha is the art teacher, and the assignment is to cover a canvas with goodwill.
Okay.
There are 3 steps. Step 1 is about quantity and type. Let's call it the broad strokes.
This is where the text gets that really long list, right? Radiate to all beings. Short ones, long ones, big, small, visible, invisible.
It's exhaustive. In our art class, this is the teacher saying, okay, I want you to sketch every single house in this village. Don't skip the tiny shack over there. Don't skip the mansion on the hill. And don't skip the one you can't even see behind the trees.
Why it's so specific? Why not just say all beings?
Because the human mind is a master of creating exceptions. We love to say, I wish everyone well, except that guy. By forcing the mind to go through this list, short, long, visible, invisible, it trains you in total inclusivity. It breaks your habit of filtering who deserves your kindness.
So it's about disrupting our own biases.
Exactly. You have to include the invisible beings, the spirits in the trees, or just the people you normally ignore.
Okay, so we've sketched every house, we've got the breadth, but a sketch can be, well, pretty sloppy. That brings us to step 2.
Step 2 is quality control. This is where we turn up the emotional heat.
And this is where that famous line comes in. Just as a mother would protect her only child with her life.
So with a boundless heart, should one cherish all living beings? This is the pivot.
Now, I have to be the skeptic here for a second. That sounds impossible. I mean, you can't really love a stranger, let alone a spirit that's trying to scare you, with the same intensity a mother loves her child. It feels like you're just setting yourself up to fake it.
And that is such a common and important misunderstanding. The text isn't asking you to adopt the whole world. It's using the mother's love as a benchmark for the quality of your mind.
So it's the gold standard.
It's the gold standard. Back to the art class. The teacher looks at your sketches and says, good, you've drawn every house. Now go back and render each one with the exquisite care and tenderness you would use if you were drawing a gift for the person you love most in this world.
Wow. Okay, that changes everything. It's not about the other person. It's about the setting on my own internal dial.
Yes. You are practicing generating that frequency of fierce, protective, high-quality goodwill. You crank your own output to mother love intensity, no matter who or what is in front of you. It's a workout for the heart.
So we have the breadth in step 1, the quality in step 2. What's step 3?
Step 3 is dimensions, or total coverage. The text says radiating above, below, and across.
So in the art class, that's filling the canvas right to the edges, no white space.
Precisely. It creates this 360-degree sphere of metta. There are no boundaries. And when you combine all 3, the width, the quality, and the dimensions, you get a mind that is truly boundless. There are no gaps left for fear or hate to sneak back in.
And for the monks, if they're doing that, there is literally no room left in their own minds for the fear of the spirits.
Correct. And crucially, there's no target anymore. You're not beaming love at the spirits to make them go away. You simply become a generator of love. You change the whole atmosphere.
Which is why the spirits eventually calmed down. They weren't defeated. They were just pacified by this new environment.
Yes. The monks changed the emotional climate of the forest. And the spirits, sensing this total lack of threat, this pure benevolence, they had no reason to attack anymore.
That's incredible. It's not a weapon, it's emotional climate control.
I like that. That's a great way to put it.
So, phase 3, application in the real world. Because most of us aren't dealing with tree spirits. We're dealing with traffic and rude emails and, difficult relatives.
Well, the sutta addresses this directly. It gives very clear instructions on when to do this practice.
And the answer is always.
Pretty much. Standing, walking, sitting, or lying down as long as one is awake. This is the real challenge. It's one thing to feel this way on a meditation cushion when everything is quiet. It's another thing to maintain it while you're moving through the chaos of the world.
Which is where sati, or mindfulness, has to come in, right? How does that work?
So sati is the anchor here. It's the tool you use to sustain the state. Think of your metta as a radio signal you're broadcasting. As you go about your day, someone cuts you off, you get a nasty comment, your signal's going to drop.
All right, you get static. You want to switch to the anger frequency.
Exactly. Mindfulness is the little monitor that notices, hey, the signal just dropped. It catches that irritation the second it arises, and it allows you to consciously pull your mind back into the stream of metta. Without it, you can't sustain it. They work together.
So it's this constant, active process of retuning the dial. Okay,
Yep.
So what's the payoff? The sources say the outcome is, well, it's pretty ultimate.
It is. It goes way beyond just conflict resolution.
The immediate result is peace, sure, but the sutta says the long-term result is a total purification of the mind. It talks about removing wrong views. What does that mean?
Well, when you practice this level of boundless goodwill, it becomes impossible to hold on to selfish, hateful, or divisive views. You can't see someone with the love of a mother for her child and also wish them harm. That illusion of us versus them starts to dissolve.
And it becomes a gateway to the Noble Eightfold Path.
Yes, by stabilizing the mind in this incredibly positive state, you create the perfect conditions for deep insight to arise. And the final result mentioned in the text is the end of rebirth, enlightenment.
So what starts as a survival tool for a bunch of scared monks in a forest ends up being a vehicle for total liberation.
It's the genius of the method. It solves the immediate problem, but it also secretly puts you on the fast track to the ultimate goal of the entire practice.
Okay, so let's recap. We started with the Karaniya Metta Sutta, this thing people often just chant.
And we found out it's actually a crisis response protocol. Step 1. Build your internal capital through virtue and contentment. Don't try to radiate peace if you're internally bankrupt.
Then phase 2, the projection strategy, the art class. Draw every house for inclusivity, draw it with the quality of a mother's love, and fill the whole campus.
And finally, apply it 24/7, using mindfulness to keep that signal strong, which eventually leads all the way to liberation.
It totally redefines strength, doesn't it? We think strength is a thick wall. Here, strength is a total lack of barriers.
It's the paradox. The softest energy becomes the most powerful shield. You render conflict powerless by refusing to engage with it on its own terms.
So here's where we want to leave you today. You probably don't have tree spirits in your life, but you definitely have ghosts.
Maybe it's that internet troll that always gets under your skin. Maybe it's a difficult boss. Or maybe it's just that inner critic, that voice in your own head that harasses you.
So here's the provocative thought. What would happen if, the next time one of those spirits attacks, instead of fighting or running, you applied this roadmap? What if you stopped trying to defeat them and started trying to, well, draw them with the care of a mother protecting her only child?
It sounds completely counterintuitive, but if it worked for those monks in that forest, it might just work for you in your life.
And that is our deep dive on the Karaniya Metta Sutta, a spell that turns out to be a masterclass in psychology. Thanks for swimming in the deep end with us.
It was a pleasure. Keep that signal strong.
See you next time.